everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jared Lee, and I'm joined, as usual, by my lovely wife, Jamie Lee. So, Jamie, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Jared. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a busy day because anytime you, like the day before you go on a trip, it's always busy, which we're going to be heading to Disney for a couple of nights.
Yeah, but it's been a busy week.
Well, it's been a very busy week because we had birthday month continues in the Lee household, and it was our son and our daughter's birthday because they're 2 days apart. And our daughter was very excited for it. She was so excited she did that thing where she didn't want to go to bed.
Right.
She wanted to get up really early and then didn't want to go to bed because if you go to bed, the birthday's over.
Right.
But
I mean, you get it. I mean, she's 7 now. I mean, like 7 is it's major.
Don't remind me.
I know.
But Jamie took her to a water park that was a bit away, and I think that tired everybody out.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we went to Daytona Beach, and they have a place called Daytona Lagoon, which I never heard of, and it's fine. I mean, it's a cute little park, but it was exhausting. It was exhausting. So they had fun, and we just had a busy day, and then today was crazy. So yeah, it's just been a crazy week with birthdays, but fun.
And a stroller update. So if you guys have heard the stroller saga when we're at the parks, I always forget this until we're at the parks, whether it's Universal or Disney, where I will say we've gotten more use out of the stroller that we have than probably 99% of people, I will say.
It's a Zoe umbrella double stroller, just in case you're curious.
So months ago, probably a year ago at this point, it has like the rubber wheel, like one of them came off, and ever since then it's kind of stretched out a little bit, and it kind of continually will just come off, and I'll have to pop it back on. This happens maybe like once or twice, I don't know, a day sometimes. So on the last trip, it really got stretched out to the point where we're going into Magic Kingdom, and it was just like, it wasn't staying on.
Right.
So I MacGyvered it with a used Nutri-Grain bar in a Ziploc bag, and that seemed to work. It wasn't a smooth ride, but it worked. And then I was like, okay, when we get back, I got to fix this because we don't want to deal with this again.
Right.
Then,
we don't want to have a granola bar in our
And I didn't remind that until Jamie said today, did you fix the wheel? And I'm like, oh, I did not. So I went and got some of they had that spray foam that's supposed to take up space. So I sprayed it in there. We'll see what it does. I have a backup plan if that doesn't work. Either way, I'm taking the spray can with me.
Does it stick?
So it's like expanding foam that hardens.
Okay.
So it just basically takes up space, which is all you're needing it to do. So it should work.
Okay.
We'll see what it does. But I'm going to come prepared to, if you see me in the parks with a toolbox and just
or we just say bye-bye to the stroller and just for the weekend rent a double and just be done with it.
That's a possibility. But in the long term, like the discussion of like when to get rid of a stroller, and I understand the arguments. Here's my thing though. Not buying a new one, because our kids at this point, I'm like, it's just too late in the game to be buying a stroller.
7 and 4, so yeah.
But here's the thing. If you take away the stroller too soon, you got to deal with all the whininess from the walking. And then I have to end up carrying either it becomes just a tandem. Like I have one, I put one down, I carry the other one. So I think my goal here is to prolong the life of the stroller as long as I can.
Yep.
Maybe Tim Toolman Taylor it, give us some more power, and we'll get more use out of that stroller than I have an idea that the Imagineers who designed that stroller would be like, wow. It's way too much use. I'd be like, yeah, we know.
Oh yeah, like it's discolored from the sun. Like it used to be gray. It's no longer gray.
Well, it's a shade. It's a shade of gray.
But it's done such a good job for us the last.
It really is a great stroller.
3.5 years, I think we've had it. Oh my gosh, it has been through a bunch of stuff.
Well, and people ask us, did we recommend a stroller? Is it Zoe?
Yeah, Zoe.
Yeah.
Zoe.
They're lightweight. It folds pretty easy. Like it's been a really good stroller, and that thing's been beat up. I mean, both our kids are giant, and it's been beaten up and taken on and off buses. So
we really liked it.
I would highly recommend it. It's worked out really well, and it's not crazy expensive compared to some of the other ones.
Right.
Like some of the other ones, I mean, you might as well just buy a car.
Oh yeah, we got a really good deal on it. And we bought it when it was kind of a newer company.
Yeah, I don't know what they're priced at now, but I think they're still cheaper than what's that one, the single stroller that we have? That's
City Mini.
Yeah, those mini ones are.
Yeah, we have a single, but we can just use that when our daughter's done with a stroller. But now is not the time for that. We're sticking with the stroller for now.
We're sticking with it for now. But yeah, that's what's going on here. It's just been busy, but we're going to be at the parks. My brother's coming he's actually in town with his family, so we're going to be hanging out with them for a few days, and it'll be really good. So, but we do have on the show today, we have some news to talk about, because I don't know if anybody heard, but Bob Iger's been in the news again.
Yes, he has.
So even things. I know we talked about last week about his contract renewal. There's been some more things that have came out since then, as tends to happen on the Thursday. Our show comes out on Thursday. Usually Thursdays is when more news comes out. So we'll talk about some of that. And we also have some announcement about Disney 100 celebration taking place. And we haven't done one in a while, but we are going to do a Q&A from our listeners and followers on social medias and everything like that with Kendra from Zip Travel. So we're going to do a Q&A session for our discussion part. But Kendra's going to be hanging out with us the entire time and when we go through the news. But before we get to the news and before we get to Kendra, because she's a good time, we just want to remind everybody, if you want even more content from us, if you like what we do here, or if you want to join Club 33 and you don't have an extra $30,000 laying around and you're like, I would rather pay $6.99 a month, then maybe Club 32 is where you could go, because we may not be as fancy, but I think we're just as much fun. In there, we have additional content like Cool Kids Kitchen. We have the Club 32 Speakeasy. We have the Club 32 Show, which is a live stream every week that we do on Tuesdays. We have in-park live streams. We have a private podcast feed. There is 20% off of CTM apparel and 1901 Candle Company products. And there's a private Facebook group and a private Discord. And we also have been doing watch parties of the 90s sitcoms when they all went to Disney. And it's interesting to watch that. So we'll be doing more of the watch parties based on different things. They're kind of doing that for the summer, but we'll do some more stuff there as well. But either way, it's a good time. If you're interested in joining there and helping, keep the network going, contribute to the show, you can go to ctmvip.com. You can do monthly or yearly option. Like I said, you can do a monthly. You can also do a free trial if you want to do a monthly, see if it's for you. And if you do a yearly, you get a free t-shirt and you save a little bit of money overall. So either way, ctmvip.com is where you go. And if you would like to join, we'd love to have you. So, all right. Well, before we get to the news, like we said, we have Kendra, who is the owner of our favorite travel partner, Zip Travel. So Kendra, welcome back to the show. It's been a little bit since we had you on, but it's always a great time when you're here.
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
Of course. So, like I said, we're just going to go through some news things. And, Kendra, one thing about Kendra, she has Southern charm. And she has opinions, which is good for a podcast. Because the worst thing is that people don't have opinions on a podcast, because then it's just like, I don't know what you'd listen to.
Right. Yes. We the Southern charm is definitely here with Kendra.
Yes.
We like it.
So, all right. Well, the first news story that we have is, like I said, Bob Iger has basically been stirring some feelings in some people over the past week. So, we talked about last week that he was renewed until, so technically he's renewed for another 2 years, but I think if you look at the details, he's at least tied to Disney through 2031 through like compensation package.
Oh.
But either way, he was renewed for another 2 years. It didn't really come, at least to me, it didn't come as a shock. I've been saying for a while that I thought he was going to be renewed because we haven't heard a peep about replacements or anything like that.
Right.
So, we talked about that last week. And then on Thursday, Bob Iger sat down with CNBC and had a little interview. Mm-hmm. And I will say he had some interesting remarks, and it was an overall, it was a strange interview, especially if you've seen him speak in the past. So he was, one of the things that I felt was very strange in the interview, they did ask him some pretty tough questions. One of them, they asked him about the 4th of July crowds that were the lower, and we'd reported that a couple weeks ago about how, at least in the wait times, it was the lowest it had been like a decade.
Right.
I don't know if we actually got attendance figures, but I know the wait times were listed as very low. And it's been reported that the park, attendance has been down. And Iger blamed it on the heat. Said it was really hot on the 4th of July. And I thought that was an interesting, I don't know. I would call it an excuse. I feel like there's other things you could have gone with. Mm-hmm. And then he had some remarks about the strikes that have kind of caught people a little riled up, I would say.
Yeah.
His exact quote was, they're being unreasonable. I think it was about the actors and the writers.
Yeah, he was addressing both of them, basically saying kind of like it's just like a sad situation kind of thing, but almost like he doesn't agree with the strike. It kind of is kind of what he made it sound like. And people were not happy about that.
Well, and for those that aren't aware, the writers have been on strike since May over out in Hollywood, and now the actors are on strike as well. So it's now basically a battle between the studios and the actors and the writers, as we'll hear. But I suppose one thing we talk about, Kendra, what did, given you weren't here with us last week, what were your thoughts about Iger being renewed for 2 more years, did it surprise you? Anything like that?
No, not surprised at all by that. And it's nice to feel a little bit of stability. Now, the interview was a little woo, but it's nice to have, what we think is stability. Of course, we don't know what is coming down the pike with Disney, because clearly, with the parks being so empty this summer, they're kind of hurting. Not kind of. It's very apparent in the world that I'm in travel trade side. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that we've not seen in a while to amp up park attendance, mm-hmm. to amp up packages, to, things that they're doing that, you guys will never see, to us in the back end of trying to motivate us, to help give us marketing dollars that we've not seen in a really long time, mm-hmm. to try and boost numbers across the board, whether it be ABD, Disney Cruise Line, Walt Disney World, any and all of the destinations.
Yeah.
So that's you're a great person to talk to about this. And I will just say, this gives me some feedback. I have been accused online of making this up about Disney's attendance being down. I was like, I know for a fact, but I can't, but the Kendra here can back me up because she knows these things.
Right.
What do you, in my opinion, I don't think it's one single thing, but what do you equate a lot of the slowdown to? Is there anything that you have seen or you have any guesses on that you would say why the park attendance is lower?
So yeah, absolutely. Cruising is back with a vengeance, with mm-hmm. COVID. Everybody likes to blame things on COVID, but truly people didn't cruise for a very long time because, right. Everybody fell in different categories. Either you were 100% vaxxed and you were on board and you were going. You were 100% vaxxed. You were absolutely not stepping foot on a cruise ship. You were absolutely not going to get vaxxed. You were not going to vax your kids. Everybody fell into a different category. So cruising was down for a really long time. And it wasn't just Disney cruising. It was all cruising.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Those ships, there were so many cancellations of sailings, and not just with Disney. Disney really didn't cancel too many sails, but across the board, if they couldn't fill the ship and the numbers didn't match, it made no sense to leave the port if they were going to be hemorrhaging before they even left the dock,
right.
as far as money is speaking.
Yeah.
So I think seeing cruising back with a vengeance is a pretty good factor. Mm-hmm. Price point.
Yes.
With the increasing in pricing, and you guys have seen it. We've seen it. We've all seen it.
Which I will say before you go on, it's interesting. Iger had admitted when he first came back, we got too aggressive with pricing. Mm-hmm. And then the CNBC interview, they asked him about pricing in the parks, and he says the pricing is fine. And I thought it was just an interesting, not that long ago, and that's not like they've changed prices significantly around the parks.
No.
They did take away the parking fee, which, thank you. But again, Iger's the one who instituted that 4 years ago.
Right.
But I agree with you, but it was just interesting to hear him flip-flop on his own statement that he had made earlier in the year. But go ahead and continue.
Well, I think he's also under a board that, and I know, when we do a marketing campaign and we're using Disney money, there's so much that I can't even begin to say that I would normally say, but I can't because I'm bound to, they're called boilerplates. I'm bound to boilerplates that have been written by Disney Legal. And so I'm just wondering if they had to sit down with him and was like, listen, this is what you're not going to say, and this is what you are going to say, and we're going to be this. And I have to think that he's probably following the same legal. Even though mine's different than his, it's still Disney legal.
Well, and it makes you wonder because Chapek, everyone basically assumed he was basically a puppet of the board and he was just doing what they wanted, which is why, when he was renewed, we were like, well, he does what the board wants and the board's happy. Mm-hmm. So it does raise the question, how much of what's going on is really, how much free reign does Iger really have in this situation, which we'll never, we don't know. I will say that interview, he looked stressed and he was, think what you want. I personally don't think Iger is the greatest CEO in the world. I think a lot of the issues Disney's having currently stem from his own things that he implemented years ago. So I kind of think a lot of this is his stuff.
But you got to think too, 2019, the parks were, in general, everything was
Land.
just booming.
Absolutely.
Land.
Absolutely. But, so him coming back, I didn't buy into the camp that, oh my gosh, Disney is saved. Everything is perfectly fine.
Sure.
So now, one thing about Iger, I will say, he's very smooth. He's a smooth talker. Chapek was kind of that awkward guy to party that you're just like, I'm going to go this way. He's just not very good. Whereas Iger is very, he's slick. He has seemed I can't say that word.
Uncharacteristically.
I can't talk tonight. Jamie said that.
Got it.
Unlike himself in these interviews that just seem very like putting almost his foot in mouth in times. Like the whole issue, like the excuse using heat as the reason for 4th of July. I feel like there's a lot of different, if you want to say excuses, he could have came up with better than it's hot in July in Florida. I mean, yeah, it's been hot, but I mean, it's hot every 4th of July. So I feel like you could have said economy. You could have said, there's a lot of things.
If he says economy, then, everybody looks to Disney as the economy's bad.
Well, that's a good point too.
If he says that, then it's automatically, it now becomes a national issue,
Right. Well, and then some people want to point to and say, well, it's the fight with, Florida that's been going on. But they asked him directly about that, and he said it had no impact. So even Disney which they kind of were hinting they were running with that narrative. They're not running with that narrative at all. So it's just
That's right.
He just seemed very unlike himself.
Yeah.
He seemed also very tired and stressed. I will say that. He looked.
Yeah. He's got the weight of the entire company on his shoulders, and that company is vast. It's not just, we all know what that encompasses. And ABC's not great right now because, when's the last time you've watched live ABC TV?
Ooh, it's been a while.
I haven't watched any, I would say, what they call linear TV for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But think about, the network itself, there aren't really great shows. Everything has taken to streaming.
Well,
when you start thinking about that kind of stuff, but then even Disney Plus, while Disney Plus is great and we love it because, we can stream Bluey 24/7 in our house, it doesn't have, outside of really like Marvel and things like that, you don't get, quote, adult TV. And I don't mean that in any kind of bad way, but you're not going to see Outlander on Disney Plus. Right. You're not going to see The Witcher on Disney Plus. You're not going to see The Summer I Turned Pretty on Disney Plus. You're not going to see those things on that streaming platform. So they kind of have put themselves into a box, but it's their own made box.
Right. Yes, and that's one reason the fall of linear TV is one of the reasons that they went so hard into streaming. But I think there were a lot of them were duped. And we've talked about this before, of streaming was not this golden egg that they thought it was. Mm-hmm. They all looked at Netflix and thought we can be our own Netflix, but when there's 15 different Netflixes now, you've split the pot and no one's going to get there. And that's the other thing too, I will say, the other reason Iger was, making some waves this past week is he made the comment that they were basically looking to sell some assets.
Yeah, that's right.
He had taken, so it's things, and he had gone to, and I don't know if you can pull it up, Jamie. He had gone to a conference where he was spotted, where this is a conference where basically CEOs and bigwigs go to basically set up mergers. So there was an article that was ran that said something about Disney. Iger was building a dynasty. Now Disney's a garage sale or a yard sale or something like that. So
yes, I saw that.
Yeah,
yes.
And in that article, it was talking about them wanting to partner with ESPN, looking to sell like ABC, Freeform, those things. And then there's the rumor that gets picked up again about Apple potentially buying Disney. So the one thing I just wanted to say is I'm not surprised. So the longer they hold on to ABC, I've said this a while, it's almost like a car at this point. It's a depreciating asset. And the longer they hold on to that, the less they're going to end up getting for it. Just because of, like you had said, not as many people are watching, traditional television, going towards streaming. Disney knows that. So I feel like everyone's asking, is Disney going to sell anything, or is Disney going to sell itself? I think I could see assets being sold because, and you were speaking to like Disney Plus having only the kid stuff, they are contractually obligated to buy out the rest of Hulu at the beginning of the year. that's going to cost them $10 to $20 billion to do. And currently they don't have the funds to do it. So I think to finance that, they are going to have to sell some assets to basically be able to buy the rest of Hulu.
Yeah. That's basically what you said. They also were talking about combining Hulu and Disney Plus together in the same app.
Yeah, that's why he's going to, he made that announcement at the last earnings call. Yeah.
Wants to hang on to ESPN, but
he said they want a
partner.
They want a partner. I think they're looking for a financial partner. I don't know how that would work, but they're looking for somebody to help them share the load with ESPN.
Right. And then he's also talking about restructuring over in India. That Hotstar, Disney Plus Hotstar, lost streaming rights to Indian Premier League.
That's what caused them to have the big drop in Disney Plus subscribers overseas. Was
right.
The Indian League cricket.
So he's focusing on that as well. And then today, actually, he was he met with some leaders of some TV businesses with Disney to reassure them. This was yesterday, actually, that last week what he said about TV assets may not be core to the company. He basically walked back on that and was like, "No, you guys, you're important to us," kind of thing. So he's doing a lot of that.
Well, that was the thing that surprised me. He made that statement, and then I was thinking, you just basically signaled that you're going to sell this stuff. And then employees freak out, and you're like, well, what do you think was going to happen when you basically said half the company wasn't, quote, core? I have a lot of thoughts, and this is really, our show mostly covers the theme park, so I won't really get into much of the Disney Plus, the streaming. I'm probably going to end up starting a separate podcast for that because I have lots of thoughts and Jamie's tired of hearing them. But I guess we'll keep it to the parks here. Right. So the rumor about, and I'm just talking about this as a hypothetical, I'm not necessarily sold that it's going to happen. The rumor that Apple will buy Disney has been around for a while. There's and the reasons
very long time.
Yes, and the reasons for that is Disney and Apple have been sort of linked through Pixar a long time. So they have history. I think Iger used to be on the board of Apple at one point. So they're always linked. And given the reason, Apple has tons and tons of money, basically. So I guess first of all, I'll ask you, Kendra, do you think there's any credence to that rumor about Apple potentially even buying it or looking at it? And second, if that were to happen, do you think it's a good thing for Disney overall if Apple were to, let's say, buy Disney?
Well, Lord have mercy. If they could buy Disney, maybe we could get some technology that works.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
It is a daily struggle doing my job with that technology, but it is a band-aided system that they just continue to band-aid, and it just needs a massive overhaul. I don't know. I don't know if Apple will buy Disney. I don't know. It's one of those things like, if you're in a world where Apple buys Disney, what does that look like for Disney moving forward?
Right.
And I don't want to know. I would like the technology part. I would like the technology part just because it would make our lives in the park simpler and it would make my job easier. But I don't know. I don't know, because Disney's always been Disney. Right.
Well, it's a bit no. Yeah.
It would be I would assume it would have to be, because Apple's going to want to come in if they do buy it and put their stamp on it. What does that look like? And I don't know. I don't know that I would like that. But I'm a Disney purist. So there's a lot of things that are going on that I can't believe. The fact that Disney is even considered and is purchasing Hulu goes against everything that we've ever been taught about Disney, even in this side of the industry. The reason Disney won't wrap our cars like Sandals wraps cars is because they don't want us parking at a bar with their trademark on it, because that's not the brand that they're wanting to sell, even though it's my car.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
And Hulu is this very, that's why they won't wrap cars. Sandals doesn't care, love all, serve all.
Yeah.
But Disney is very particular about their brand
and their image.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Very much so about their image.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just,
it's up and Jamie, what do you think? Do you think any credence? Would you like it if it happened? Same question.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like Kendra, I'm a Disney purist. Like I've always known Disney to be like what it has been, just this giant company that they buy the stuff, they don't sell out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of
That's definitely what Iger's
always
been doing.
the feeling.
Yeah.
So yeah, if Apple had more control or had control of Disney, and I think it would start looking. I think there would be no color. Everything would be white.
Well, everything would be very
and just simple and very just straight lines. You know, I'm totally joking, but you know,
lots of turtleneck.
A lot of turtlenecks. It'll be interesting.
Gray, especially gray turtlenecks.
Yes, yeah.
Turtlenecks. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think the whole company will be sold. I think that they would sell parts of it if they needed to. But
I completely agree with that. And I was only asking the question. It's a hypothetical question because it's out there. People talk about it. I agree. I don't think Disney's at the point where they're going to sell to anybody as a whole. I don't think that's the case. But what I will say is I think the best thing that could happen to Disney is new blood coming in. I think the next CEO should be from outside the company. I think if, let's say, a potential Apple was looking to buy Disney, it potentially could be a good thing for Disney, given as Disney stands now, to get to the point where they're at now, which, you know, we've talked about many times about, you know, the movie side's been struggling a lot. Disney Plus is losing almost $1 billion a quarter, and they simply just cannot sustain that. This is why they're looking at buying Hulu to see because Hulu actually does pretty well. So I'm sure they're going to fold Hulu in to at the very least show in the earnings reports it not losing as much money. But currently Disney Plus is just, it's a mess. The parks, and I've said for a while, once those parks start tailing off, what happens to that stock price? And the earnings call in the next couple of weeks is going to be interesting on that. But I think if, let's say, an Apple bought them, for Disney to turn everything around, they're a giant ship. And to turn that thing around takes a lot of effort and a lot of energy.
And a lot of money.
A lot of money. And if and really almost what you need at Disney, which is currently going on, it's almost need a hatchet man to come in and just start cutting stuff that doesn't have relationships with people. This is why it's been a thing at a big company. Bring in a hatchet man, he does the cutting, he leaves, and then they bring in a new CEO. But if another company was to come in, they could potentially give Disney a fresh look. A lot of people that are unhappy with the brand, perhaps, may say, well, you know what? Apple has them now. We'll give them a chance. See what they do with it. It potentially could bring new blood. Now, I'm not saying it would fix everything because who knows what Apple would do with it. What they could run a theme park. I don't know. There's tons of hypotheticals with this. I'm just saying I think Disney does need new blood because I think they're in an echo chamber. And I think you'll hear people even talk about giving a lot of the executives feedback, and it's just they'll argue with them and say that they're wrong. And you know, especially when it comes to like trip planning with Genie Plus, like a lot of aspects I think that they're just out of touch on, not because they don't care necessarily, but that they just, when's the last time that any of them planned a vacation through the process that they've set up? You know, they're out of touch with how the whole thing goes. But I definitely think Fresh Blood could do some really good. I mean, if you think about Michael Eisner he was not a Disney person. He came in and revamped the company. But overall, I think they'll still have some assets, but we'll have to wait and see when that happens. And I will say the earnings call in a couple of weeks is going to be really interesting to pay attention to and see what that all looks like. But
yep.
So, all right, let's move on to the next story we have, which is the Disney 100 celebration at Walt Disney World begins September 22nd.
Yes, as previously announced, Epcot is the host of the Disney 100 celebration on the East Coast. And we know some things that will be happening starting September 22nd and ending December 31st, 2023. You'll be able to snap a photo with the new Platinum Mickey Mouse sculpture in World Celebration with Spaceship Earth in the background. There's going to be an all-new mural at the heart of World Celebration, located along the walkway to World Showcase, and will feature some of your favorite characters hidden throughout the various neighborhoods of Epcot. The rest of World Celebration will also be decked out in Disney 100 Platinum banners and decor. You can snap a photo with Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse in their Platinum Best in the Imagination Pavilion. Spaceship Earth will light up each night with special colors and lights accompanied by the Disney 100 anthem, a unique rendition of When You Wish Upon a Star. The purple metallic Mickey Balloon premium popcorn bucket will be for sale, and that's already at Disneyland. And the 4 new marketplaces for Epcot International Food and Wine Festival, Char and Chop, Wine and Wedge, Bubbles and Brine, and Swirled Showcase will all open on September 22nd.
Okay.
So one thing I've noticed on this list of things is the whole Mickey and Minnie will be at Imagination Pavilion. So this just shows me that the rest of what they're working on construction-wise in World Celebration, like the Communicore Plaza, Communicore Hall, all that stuff, that's where Mickey and Minnie are supposed to be.
Right.
So if they're Imagination Pavilion, obviously if it starts September 22nd, that just means the rest of the construction will not be done.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Disney construction tends to be rather slow anyways.
It's true. But I am looking forward to the Spaceship Earth show, with the Wish Upon a Star. I was like, oh my gosh, that's the best Disney song. When You Wish Upon a Star.
It's
from Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
It's a good one.
It's a classic.
But yeah, and they said something about like the food and the different foods, but it's mostly food and wine stuff. But yeah, so not like a ton of things, but a good amount.
Well, funny enough, about food and wine, we're actually going to be at the parks and we'll be at Epcot between festivals, which I don't think that's happened for a long time for us. I can't remember last time. I'm very curious as to what Epcot looks like when there's not a festival going on, because it's very rare that ever happens. I feel like it's going to be a ghost town. There's going to be tumbleweeds blowing through there and just...
Kendra, are you looking forward to the celebration here in Walt Disney World, or you think like, okay, they did the 50th the last, 2 years. We're done. We can move on from the celebration. Or do you think this is going to be great?
I think it's always fun to have a celebration.
Yeah.
The goal is obviously to get people back into the park, even if they have been there recently. It's to get them back there because they have all these new things that you need to see. Now, whether it does that, I don't know. Our numbers are not showing that, but hopefully once people see it and it is exciting and everything that Disney wants it to be.
Are they pushing it as much as the 50th
no.
to you guys? I didn't think it didn't seem like they were.
No, they're not. They're not, because it's not really across all 4 parks. I mean, it kind of is, but when they say that Epcot is the host, that's where, a lot of it is focused around, and maybe they'll announce more things later on, but that's all that they're announcing so far. And I don't know that is enough to draw people who have just been there.
Right. Yeah. I agree with that. I do. Also, they actually, some of the elements for the Moana Journey of Water, I guess, I don't know. It's not really an attraction. It's just like a walkthrough thing. Some of the elements have been turned on, like fully.
Yes, I've seen that on,
people's
stories and things.
Yeah. Like I was the music, the sound effects, the water, like it's all on.
I'm still confused that's at Epcot, and I'm still confused as to I'm sure it'll be pretty, but it seems to me like it's a Japanese like garden walkthrough thing. Like you're walking through a fountain. I don't see a huge demand for it.
Here's the thing, Jared. Epcot, in the center of Epcot, I don't remember what it used to look like.
I remember what it used to look like.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No, it's just been so long that we've just been like on the outside, of the seas and over in, quote unquote future world, which is called World Discovery over there, right?
Yes.
By Spaceship, Mission Space. Okay. So over there. So I don't like the center with like the Fountain of Nations and the Starbucks and the what was it called? I always forget. It used to be called
the Electric Umbrella.
No, well, yeah, that's gone too.
Innovations.
Thank you. Yeah. All of that, is part of yesterday. Gone. Yes. Yeah. But so I'm really excited to be able to utilize the middle of the park.
I mean,
again.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
So even if it's Moana and it's this water feature and it may it not seem like it fits the park, I'm kind of excited to see what they do with the whole neighborhood concept when it's actually done.
I agree.
And I think more of the Moana as like a splash pad area. I know that there's like a water feature and everything, but the things that we have seen leads me to believe it's more of a splash pad than.
Really?
I mean, that would be great if that was the case.
But but again, drawings and renderings and things, they can change 50,000 times before they actually hit the park floor. But that to me is what I've always envisioned it as, was a nice little splash pad area.
Yeah. I mean, it fits where it is, because like that side of the park, the living seas and everything, and like, the land pavilion, all that stuff. So it fits over there. So I think Epcot's going to be, obviously, Future World is no longer like the theme, obviously, since they're changing it. So I think if you get that out of your brain, it'll be easier to absorb it.
I also always think about Epcot, what it originally was supposed to be, and it's always just like, this is not it. But I get it.
Well, it doesn't make sense that that's the name anymore.
It doesn't really.
but that's okay. We're just going to keep calling it Epcot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what's coming for Disney 100 Celebration.
All right. Well, that's all the news that we have.
I had to move some news to next week.
We had
we had more, but we don't want the show to be 2 hours.
We have some good Q&A. Yeah. So, but Jamie does have a poll time.
Poll time.
Oh, I missed my mark.
Ugh.
Hold on. Sorry. I'll fix it.
Okay. All right. My poll time question this week was, in your opinion, is Animal Kingdom a full day or half day park? Well, you know what Jared thinks. He doesn't need to give his opinion at this moment.
I'm just sitting here.
But so the results were not kind of not really shocking. Okay. So 53% said full day. So about half people said full day park. 39% said half day. 7% said it depends, and I asked them to explain, and then 1% said neither. It's a no day park, apparently.
Just not going to go.
So a lot of people said that they could do everything they want to do in that park and not go back in like 3/4 of a day. So like if they had, let's say, have a 7-day vacation, they could go to Animal Kingdom one day out of that vacation and just spend 3/4 of the day there and then be done.
I would agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I got that. For us, we would talk about Animal Kingdom being like not one of our favorite parks. Our kids do like it. They do like the animals and everything. But for us, if we were just going to spend some time at Animal Kingdom, just you and I, there's maybe a handful of attractions we want to do, some food we want to try, and then we would be done.
Yeah.
That's just how we would tour the parks. Again, with our kids, it's a little bit different. We'd probably spend a little more time, but I can see how some people want to spend more time, but like the trails, like the Gorilla Falls and the Maharaja Jungle Trek or Rafiki's Planet Watch, like there is stuff to do to make it a full day park, but you would literally do every single thing the park offers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To me, I mean, I know there's people that say that it's their favorite park, and it's fine. I'm baffled at times, but I feel like no, I'm just saying for me personally, I feel like if you want to make it a full day park, you got to try and do everything that park has to offer versus, let's say a Magic Kingdom. I mean, you're not gonna be able to do everything in that park unless it's just completely dead that day. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm glad people enjoy it.
Well, and this kind of related to what I was talking about. My most recent Trip Tales, she talked about buying Genie Plus for Animal Kingdom, and she's like, you don't need it.
Yeah.
Like she ended up not really needing it, and it wasn't as busy as it has been maybe in the past, and and she did everything they want to do, it by like 2:00 and they were done.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And for me, it's seasonal because in the heat of the summer, like this coming week, I have no desire to be at Epcot all day long.
That's true.
Sorry, not Epcot, Animal Kingdom all day long. I have no desire to be there because it's hot. It's really, really hot in Animal Kingdom.
Yes, it is.
But in December, when it's not as hot and it's really very comfortable, we like to do all the things because the teacher in me is like, let's do all the things, get your badges and do all the things and go to all the places. And I like all of that, but not in the heat of the summer when it's 120 degrees outside.
So are you a half day or a full day?
We are actually going next week, and most likely will be a half day, and then the rest of it will be back in the pool because it's so hot.
Fair.
It's a good point. It's a valid point.
Yeah. Oh, that heat. Yeah. Once the heat hits you, and it's like the muggy, like I can't.
And your shirt sticks to every part of your body. Yes, it's time to leave the park.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyway, that was my poll time for this week. So thank you everybody for participating in the poll this week. I will have a new poll next week.
Yes, and if you want to be part of the next poll time, you can do it in two ways. You can join the Capture the Magic Facebook community. Go in there and do that. You can also do it on Instagram, where we are, as I say, we are the coalition of the strong there. It's almost 12,000 strong. And I feel like there's a jingle to put in there. But anyways, you can do it both ways because Jamie posts the polls in the Facebook group and she posts in the stories on Instagram. So either way, you can do that there. So, okay. All right. Well, let's get to our discussion today, which is, like we said, it's a Q&A from you, the listener, because we haven't done one of these in a while.
It's more like an Ask Me Anything.
Ask Me Anything.
AMA thing.
Okay. Well.
Which is scary. Very scary.
Oh, we can pick and choose what questions we want to answer.
I'm not
going to ask.
So here's the thing. I haven't read these ahead of time because I like to work off the cuff.
Right.
So these will be a shock to me and Kendra.
Well, I was going to say, let's start with the Facebook questions first.
Okay.
And I'll read them.
Okay.
I've read them, but I haven't really thought about them. So, okay, let's start with the first one. Let's see. I just booked my first December trip. We usually go in April. It's a girls' trip with my mom and a 13-year-old daughter. We have 2 Epcot days and 1 Hollywood Studio days. What are some tips for Festival of the Holidays? And how hard is it to get a dining package for Candlelight Processional?
Well, I'm trying to think. Kendra, you're the travel agent here. What do you think?
Candlelight Processional package is not difficult to get. You just kind of have to be flexible with your times. Whether it's lunch or dinner, you're just going to have a little bit of flexibility with that, but it's not difficult to get. What was the other question?
Oh, it was, what are some tips for Festival of the Holidays?
Oh, take your time. If you're spending 2 days in Epcot, you can totally do that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and the thing I was going to say, the weather is really nice around there.
Oh, it's so nice.
So the nighttime can get chilly. Mm-hmm. It can in Florida. People think they come to Florida, it's warm all the time. During the day, it could still be 60, maybe even 70 degrees. But at night, when the sun goes down, it'll get chilly many times. So, depending on how much you want to pack or how much if you want to bring a jacket, but you could, if you're doing 2 days, spend World Showcase times maybe during the day or something, and then at night do something indoors if that's what you want to do. But I enjoy Festival Holidays a lot, though.
I would say do the cookie stroll. Do the cookie stroll and
do the cookie stroll.
Yeah, and get them, but not necessarily eat them at that time because it's a lot of cookies. You can do the cookie stroll, you get the prize, and then get it some Tupperware.
I was actually
put them away, and then just eat them later. And it's a great, you get that cookie. It's a kind of a great memory. Look what I got. Also the narrators, the for the countries. So Santa Claus is in the American Adventure. Then is it Père Noël?
Yeah, there's one in France.
And there's the Three Wise Men,
Father Christmas in UK, and then what was it, Bear Schnitzel or Bear Snickle? What's his name in Norway?
I have no idea.
Oh man,
yes, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Each country kind of has their own
representation of Saint Nicholas or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So I would encourage you to take your time listening to them because you can they're amazing. The performers that do
they
those
really
things.
Are.
Yeah,
they really are. And see the Voices of Liberty. Those are my personal favorite.
Oh,
I was gonna say that's a good point. Voices of Liberty is really good.
It's my personal favorite. You have to at least a couple of times. If you're gonna be there 2 days, you have to see them a couple of times.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, we're gonna move on to this one. Let's see. Do you enjoy living in Florida versus Missouri? We live in Iowa and would love to retire or end our final working years there. I'm over snow.
Well, as were we, is one of the reasons we moved.
Right.
I think I can speak for you as well. We love Florida.
We do.
The only the main thing that's the most, I would say the biggest adjustment, so where we're from in Springfield, Missouri, it takes you 10, 15 minutes to get anywhere. Like whether that's going to the store, getting food, going to the gym, it's all 15, 20 minutes. Like
Going
literally
across Springfield, max of 20 minutes.
Yeah,
that's it.
If there's heavy traffic, you might be 25. Down here, where we currently live, I mean, it takes us the nearest store, which is like Ace Hardware. That's a good 7-minute drive, I'd say.
To like any kind of store.
Yeah,
right?
so you're talking 10 minutes really before you get out anywhere. If you're going to go many places, you're talking at least 25, 30 minutes to get just out before you. So the driving distance is a little bit more. I mean, it is hot, but I don't know. The heat doesn't bother me too much. You kind of get used to it. I'm
more used to it now. It takes a little bit, but we've been here, 3.5 years now. So I feel like I've acclimated to it. So getting used to the heat is adjustment period. Also, the storms can kind of get crazy. Like, for example, we had a crazy storm come through on
like 2 nights ago.
Monday?
Yeah.
Was it Monday?
Monday night, yeah.
And like literally knocked our neighbor's fence down.
Yeah.
So we have a fence like laying in our yard right now, which is crazy. So the storms, and like you would see it storm really bad, but it would be sunny. And you're like, my brain is confused.
Although I will say you don't have tornadoes, which I
mean, you have your hurricanes here.
You do, but you get warnings about hurricanes. I've always hated tornadoes. And like the storm here the other night, I mean, it was raining a lot, but it wasn't like a tornado. It was just, it was a storm there. But I mean, I will say bugs are more bountiful and bigger down here as well. So it has a lot of pros. We really enjoy it. I know your parents love coming down. They I know they miss being here. So I mean, we miss our family that lives in Missouri.
Absolutely.
I can't say that I miss many aspects about Missouri other than our family. The food. Yeah. Missouri food's good, like Springfield food, like Chinese food.
Yeah.
But outside that, we really enjoy Florida.
Yeah, we're probably lifers here, I would say. Yeah, I don't know if we'd be back to Missouri.
Yeah.
But Kendra, you're in Alabama.
I am.
And how long is a drive is that to like Disney World?
Well, it depends on who drives. If I drive,
I imagine you drive faster. I'm guessing.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
If I drive, I can make it even with the kids and stopping in 8 hours and 45 minutes.
Okay.
If my husband drives, it's closer to 10 hours.
He just kind of lays back and just goes with the flow.
Well,
yeah, and I try to sleep because I just want to get there. I just want to be there. We actually talked this past weekend. I want to move to Florida. He works in robotics, so he could get a job at Disney, easy peasy. But I do think we would miss our families too much.
Right. I think that's a lot of people's like main thing.
Well, just do what we did and just get the rest of your family moved down here with you.
Just bring your family.
I mean, my parents are close to retirement, so that could work.
Never know. Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, so next question was, we are going in January and staying club level with the dining plan. We are worried we will not get the value out of having each or by having both. So what are your thoughts on this? So, I mean, they're basically asking like,
dining plan,
should they get rid of the dining plan
or get rid of club level?
Well, do you want me to give them?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
You got it, or
all right. Do you have something you want to say?
I mean, we're probably going to say something similar.
We'll take a bet. You go, and I'll let you know.
Great.
And I might say something different.
That's true.
Okay. All right. All right. So, depending on where you stay, I mean, the club level is very different depending on what hotel you're at. Some are better than others. Some offer more things than others. But if you're staying club level and you're going to utilize all of the things it has to offer, like the small bites and the breakfast items and the drinks and everything, I'm not sure you'll have room in your tummy for all the food that the dining plan gives you access to
really utilize it.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're worried about that, seeing value with the dining plan, if you're really going to be in the club level lounge, you're going to be eating all the food and the drinks and stuff, then you're going to be like, maybe I shouldn't do the dining plan. However, if you're also of mind where you like to have everything paid for before you leave, so you have all your your meals are set, it doesn't matter. You just have all these options. You can I can do the club level. I can do this dining. Possibilities are endless, and you have that option, you may just be like, okay, for ease of going, sure, I'll just do that. For us personally, we would not do the dining plan if we had club level.
Well, I was going to say, I'll simplify this whole thing. Just do one or the other. If you're going to do club level, don't do dining plan because, I mean, you might as well take advantage of club level. And if you're going to do dining plan, don't do club level because I feel like you'd just be overpaying for both. So just do one or the other. Personally, I think club level was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think you could get a lot out of it. So, yeah, I would just pick one and do that. Kendra?
What do you think, Kendra?
Well, I'm on the other opinion. I would do them both. If you're wanting this service, I would do both. I would stick with what you have. The dining plan is not going to give you 3 meals a day plus snack. I mean, it's just not going to give you that. And if you're planning to be at your hotel at any amount of time, and to know that you've got snacks that are paid for, it's nice. But also in the evenings, adult beverages are there that you do not have to pay for. That's already included.
Yep.
Depending on if you like that or not. But even like the bottles of water, you can go in and grab a whole bunch. I mean, bottles of water are expensive at Disney. Yeah. And so you can go in, and even the cans of soda, you can go in, grab several, stock up your room, put them in your backpacks. Yeah. Put them in the strollers, off to the park you go.
Yeah.
So I see, and it also comes with an extra type of service. You know, they will all, if you're staying in club level, the club level concierge will always reach out to us and say, hey, what are some dining reservations that maybe you have not been able to secure? Let's see if we can help with that. Those types of things. So I you know, if service is what you're looking for on this trip, definitely do both.
Okay.
I think I took the Midwest approach.
What?
Midwest is you just go with, like, you know, trying to nickel and dime it a little bit. That's my personality, anyways.
Well, guess what I booked for Christmas?
What'd you book?
Christmas time.
What?
I booked a Coronado club level.
Nice.
Thanks for asking and telling me.
You're welcome. High five.
Let's see if this sticks. Anyways. All right, what's the next one?
Okay, the next one is my family and I are going to Disney in January next year. We try and eat as low carb as possible. What are the best places to eat that can accommodate us and is even possible?
I am definitely not the person to ask for that.
Well, I can, as somebody who doesn't eat a ton, you know, I don't consume a lot of carbs necessarily.
Do you want me to comment on this since I deal with the allergy stuff? And
well, okay.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. You had thoughts?
I was starting my thoughts.
I'm so sorry. Okay.
Apparently, I'm being silenced. It's fine. You go ahead, then I'll finish it.
No. I'm sorry. You're right. I shouldn't have interrupted.
I'm being censored. Anyways, what I was going to say is you can... So if you just want to stay away from carbs, one of the easiest things you can do is say, if you go get a burger from quick service, you can just eat the burger and not have the bun. So you can do that with stuff like that. It is difficult at Disney, a lot of, you know, stuff like that. So, I mean, if you're going to sit down, there's always the chicken breast option of they, you know, make it different ways. It depends on how you're eating. If you're doing quick service, it gets really difficult. So I would say Epcot at Regal Eagle, you have a really good shot with, you can just get like a chicken leg basically over there, like a chicken quarter, which always is good. They have a lot of meat there, which is it's like a barbecue. If you're doing sit downs, it gets a lot easier because sit downs will always have some sort of like healthier option you can choose from. You can always get steak or chicken as well. But quick service, yeah, I would say, I mean, if you're over in Magic Kingdom, that little marketplace in America there, you can get, though I don't know if they still have them, but you'd be like chicken skewers you could get that were always pretty good.
Liberty.
I always thought they call it, I think, bacon, but to me it tastes like a Perry's pork chop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, you can do stuff like, and yeah, I mean, you can find stuff here and there. It's just, you got to look for it. I can tell you something I do personally, and I always on trips is go get little, like this time at Costco, little muscle milk protein containers. So I'll have one of those, like 25 grams of protein, and then have something else with it. And then you get pretty full. If you're looking at, you know, if you're not wanting to go crazy eating at Disney or something.
Well, I will kind of say a kind of opposite what you're saying. Table service, especially if you say like you have dietary restrictions or you need to eat like lower carb or whatever, usually table service, they can kind of accommodate what you need. There are many instances where someone has gone in with a dietary restriction and said like, I can only have it like this, this, and this. And depending on where you are, they can make you an entire new dish, kind of exactly what you're wanting. and Disney is known for trying to be very accommodating to allergies and gluten intolerances and plant-based everything. So I mean, like if you're looking for places that are gonna definitely try to like get those accommodations taken care of for you, then I don't think you're gonna have a big of a problem. Like Jared said, quick service is a little bit different. You may have to just go with what you can. Like turkey legs, they have turkey legs.
They're not that good though, but they do have turkey legs.
Well, they do have turkey legs.
They look much better than they taste.
Yeah, like Columbia Harbor House may be a good option. Like at Magic Kingdom.
I would take a look at the menus.
You can always look at the menus beforehand.
And see, yeah, because Columbia Harbor House would be a good, because they have fish and stuff there.
Yeah.
So different ones have different things. But I mean, you can always default to a burger and just eat the meat, basically.
Yeah, or like grilled chicken breast, like you said.
Yeah.
So it depends on exactly how low carb you're going. But yeah, just look at menus beforehand, see what they've got and kind of what you would want to change, and see if they can do that for you. Most of the time, they can.
Yes.
So, anything you want to add, Kendra?
No, I mean that's great.
Yeah.
All that information is. I mean that's perfect.
Okay.
That's yeah.
You're the expert, so
When in doubt, chug a protein shake. That's Jared's motto.
there you go, Jared.
Pre-game with protein.
There you go.
All right.
All right. So we're gonna move on to some questions real quick over on Instagram. There's just a couple of them. So okay, best ride for each of you, including our kids as well, at Disney and Universal. Also, best food spot, which is very general. So what's the best ride at Disney, Jared?
The best ride, it's Rise of the Resistance, I would say, just as in terms of it's an experience type ride. Even though I'm not a sequel trilogy fan, it is a great ride.
Is it the best?
I think so. I mean, in terms of like, is it the most classic? No. Like, I think my personal, like, if I'm talking nostalgia, it's gonna be Big Thunder Mountain. But I do think Rise of the Resistance is a fantastic ride. That or Flight of Passage is up there. But at Universal, I would say Hagrid's, hands down.
Okay. Kendra, what about you?
I have to say Rise of Resistance, because you get all the rides kind of combined into one. You kind of get everything in one, except for a roller coaster aspect. But
yeah.
What about
you
Universal?
get a lot in one.
Yeah. What about Universal?
I don't like Hagrid's, but just because it made me sick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I will never ride it again. But I can appreciate it for what it is, but I'll never ride it again. Just like Rewind, Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll never do that again. It was a great ride, but I'm never doing it again. Gosh, Universal is so hard. I do like Gringotts at Universal. Yeah, that's probably... No, I take that back. The Mummy is my favorite.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. I like Mummy.
Well, I can say, before you answer let's say our kids, our daughter loves Flight of the Hippogriff at Universal.
Oh, yeah. She loves that one.
And our son, I feel like, as obsessive as he has become with Transformers, it's going to be Transformers.
Right. But right now, it's probably Minion Mayhem.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't ridden it yet. But probably.
Or Cat in the Hat. He likes Cat in the Hat, too.
Yeah, that's true. And then at Disney, I'd say our daughter really likes... what would be her favorite?
She likes Barnstormer.
She does like Barnstormer.
She likes Mad Tea Party.
She does love Mad Tea.
She really
she likes
likes
to
that.
spin a lot. I would say her and our son both. They like to go on that and have me spin them as fast as humanly possible.
They do like that.
Yeah.
That's probably it. Okay. So mine at Disney, I know Kendra said she hates this ride and will never ride it again, but is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. I think Rise of the Resistance is great. It's a great ride. But it's Star Wars, and I am not a huge fan of Star Wars. So immediately I'm just like, okay. But I love Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, and it's one of the best roller coasters I've ever ridden. And like the fact that you get a different song every time, and it's just it's so fun. I love it. I think it's the best. And at Universal, it would definitely be Hagrid's and sometimes Velocicoaster. Sometimes. But that's my opinion. As far as food, there's just too much food. I can't even go there.
Food spot.
I'd have to.
I mean, Universal, the Harry Potter stuff's the best. And then the Minion Cafe is good too. Actually, that just opened.
The Three Broomsticks, is that the one you're talking about?
That one
Three
and
Broomsticks. I like Three Broomsticks better than Leaky Cauldron.
Yeah, probably. And the Minion
do
Cafe is actually pretty solid. I would say it's a pretty cool experience.
I'm really excited to try that. We'll be there this weekend. So
Yeah.
I'm really, really excited to try it.
It's good. And I will say at Disney, I think best food spot is Geyser Point over at Wilderness Lodge.
Oh.
Okay.
Good food.
Not
good
California
location.
Grill or Topolino's.
Well, okay, I was thinking outside the box. Like Topolino's really good. I was thinking like a place off the beaten path a little bit.
Okay.
Which we'll be able to go to this weekend because we'll be there.
We're gonna stay there. Yeah. I can't think. There's too many.
Okay.
My brain hurts.
That's fair.
Okay. Next question is: do you think you guys will buy into DVC? We just bought resale.
We didn't. The question asker did.
Right.
I said the question asker. At this point, probably not at this point, at least. The way that we kind of do our trips and everything, and just thinking from a business perspective, using funds to help everything grow. At least right now, we don't have any plans to.
We frequent lot of...
sorry.
Go ahead, Kendra.
We had it years ago and we sold it back because our dues kept going up and up and up and up and up. And, they in the spiel they give you, they say that it'll be your set dues and this will be this. But my goodness, like they kept going up and we could go on multiple trips a year with what the set dues were. And we found it very difficult to use. A lot of times we're last minute planners because we have to be because of our schedule. Mm-hmm. And it was not conducive to last minute planning. So we sold it back.
Yeah. I agree about the fees. That is one hesitation I have is the fees for sure. But
well, yeah. I mean, that and coupled with the fact that we do a lot of off-property stays just by nature of what we do. Mm-hmm. And we do rent DVC points. Like this weekend we rented DVC points. But we don't do that regularly. It's like once a year, maybe once every other year. But yeah, I feel like with the dues and all the maintenance fees and the actual contract price itself, and with everything going up in price, now if you bought resale, you wouldn't get the white card? I think is if you're a direct, right, Kendra?
I think it's a blue card.
Or is it blue?
Yeah, I think it was a blue card, but that's been so long ago.
Okay.
I mean, it really has been. Like, it was not worth it for us.
Right.
So, and I know that I know that there are diehard DVC people, and I don't want to upset anybody, but it just wasn't for us. It didn't work for our family.
Yeah. I understand that. So yeah, as of right now, we're not going to buy into DVC. Maybe if there's some really good deal comes out, I don't know. Who knows? But for right now, we're not going to do it. So, okay. Next question is, let's see. I like Jared's take on the parks. What will Disney do to counter Epic Universe?
Well, first off, thank you. Second, how they count? That's a great question because I have had that question for a while now, and I don't have the exact count, but it has been over 1,400 days since Epic Universe was announced, and Disney has not had any sort of rebuttal to it. So I'm not getting into the reasons of maybe why they haven't. It's a good question. My guess is it's not a new park. I don't think that they're going to do that. And even if they did, it would take them like a decade to build the thing. So my guess would be maybe one of the blue sky things they talked about D23 ends up happening, which could be an extension over there past Big Thunder Mountain with Encanto or something along those lines. It's a great question, and they're going to have to do something because, as I've been saying for a while, and I'm sure people are tired of hearing about it, Epic Universe is not this little thing that's just like, oh, Epic Universe is going to open. Like, that is going to be the biggest park in North America. It is huge. It has proven properties. And Universal knows how to build. I mean, it's not like you have an upstart that doesn't know, they're new to the theme park game. They've proven they know how to do this and do it well. So I don't know. My guess though would be one of those blue sky things. That would be my guess.
Yeah, I don't see another park happening. But didn't Iger make an announcement about putting however much money into it over the next decade?
I mean, they'd said something, and the amount that they said would be equivalent to basically building a park.
Right.
But he just said it. It's not like
I know.
formally had some sort of press conference thing was going to happen. They could, and there's been speculation. I don't know what they would build a new park on. I still think there's stuff that they could do to fill out, say, Animal Kingdom, for instance.
Well, they could expand Pandora.
You're right. There's a lot of stuff
room.
they could do with the existing parks that they do have before they go building a new one.
Well, and so much was canned
Right.
with COVID.
Yes, very much
I mean,
so.
there were so many things, like Epcot was going to have so many different new attractions, and all of those were canned. I'm trying to think what other things were announced that were completely.
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins,
comes
right.
to
Yeah.
mind.
Mary Poppins was something else too was canned, and I can't remember.
The play pavilion.
A lot of the Epcot plans were pared back. Spaceship Earth was going to get a redo.
Yep.
That's
And
right.
That's
That's
not
right.
happening now. I mean, also too, I really think this is where Disney Plus losing as much money as it's losing per quarter does put a drag on the company, because I think one reason they haven't announced it is I don't think they have the cash to at this point.
Yeah.
And borrowing money right now is really expensive. So that could be a reason as well. But what they'll do, I don't know. I'm very curious if they're doing a wait and see. If we'll wait and see if Epic Universe is a hit. I think that's a mistake, because I would be way more shocked if Epic Universe was a flop than I would that in the other direction personally. But
Well, maybe this is why they're trying to offload some real estate.
it could be. I just think a lot of that is to buy Hulu right now, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Maybe they'll announce something. Maybe their thinking is they'll counter Epic Universe opening with their own announcement, but I don't think that's going to really counter a new park. But I don't know.
All right, last question for tonight. What 3 resorts would you visit for Christmas if you could only do 3?
Kendra, what do you think?
I love the Grand Floridian just because of the whole gingerbread house.
Absolutely.
I love the Wilderness Lodge.
100%.
Yeah, love the Wilderness Lodge. Just the fireplace, the Christmas tree, the whole feeling of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, one more. Oh, that's so hard.
I know. I was... When I saw this question, I was like, what? Because Grand Floridian and Wilderness Lodge immediately popped in my brain.
I have a third one.
Oh, what's your third one, Jared?
Fort Wilderness.
Oh, because they do the parade.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. Yes.
That's really...
Because I would agree with the other two. I would say Wilderness Lodge and Grand Floridian are some of the best.
Because
at
everybody
Christmas.
decorates their campsites.
Yes.
And it's just so much fun.
And it would be actually comfortable to camp in that weather.
That's true.
Because it's not blazing
Very true.
hot.
Yeah. I do like the pineapple Christmas tree at Polynesian. That's in the lobby.
I like Polynesian Christmas. It's subtle. Like they've got the
they
old
play the
like
Christmas music.
yeah, like the they got the old Elvis Christmas songs playing and stuff like that. Like I actually think it's kind of cool, but I don't think it doesn't scream Christmas. It's very Polynesian Christmas.
Well,
subtle.
sure.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Melikaliki Maka.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's the I agree. Yeah, I agree with everything everybody just said. But yeah, that's the last of the questions for tonight. So
All right. Well,
but thanks everybody for submitting your questions.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. We'll do another Q&A probably next year. Who knows?
maybe before then.
We'll see.
We have enough. We can maybe do it. When we don't know what to do for a show, maybe we'll pop what people asked in there. But,
Sure.
But yeah, thank you everybody for participating, and and thank you Kendra for hanging out with us. And we always love having you on the show.
Thanks.
It's always
Thank
fun.
y'all.
So
it
that
was fun.
Yeah, and of course, Zip Travel is who we love and use all the time. So I know there's a new special going on that you wanted to talk about and let everybody know about.
Well, I mean, with us ending on the heels of What's Our Favorite Christmas, we are doing, because Christmas is my favorite, we're having a huge Christmas in July celebration beginning on Monday.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, I'll be in the parks. There'll be lots of special deals that will drop each day. We're having a giveaway on Friday, and Monday happens to be my birthday, so there may be a few other surprises thrown in there.
Ooh.
So, yes. So
And now
I'm
is this going to
excited.
be on the Zip Travel Instagram?
It will be. It will be on the Zip Travel Instagram. Our clients are actually getting a heads up on Friday with a fun email going to them. And then everybody else will find out daily on Instagram next week.
All right. And what's the Instagram handle there?
It is Zip Travel Co.
Zip Travel Co. And we'll also post on ours as well about it.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you want to book a trip through Zip, if you hear Kendra and she's great and everything like that, just go to travelzip.com and there's a form there you can fill out. And on top of all the extra stuff you get from Kendra, you get some goodies from us as well by booking a trip. So
there you
go.
Yeah. So it's always great having you on, Kendra. We love your insight, especially, it makes sense with the Iger stuff. And you have some unique insight to all this stuff that, we don't know that end of things. So it's always good to have you on and get that other perspective and everything like that. So we're going to make this more of a regular thing to have Kendra on because she's awesome and she's fun. It's just everybody gets busy. And then we're like, we haven't had Kendra on for like 3 months. We need to rectify that. So we will work to, make this more of a regular thing because we always get good feedback about when you're on as well. So.
Well, and I love being on because we get good feedback too. So
well, there we go.
Nice.
Everybody feels good. Everybody's good. But yeah, so thank you for coming on, Kendra. And that'll do it for the show. So be sure, like I said, follow us on social media. So we have the Instagram. Everything's at Captain Magic except for TikTok, which is at Capture the Magic, which I will change. But we're almost at 10,000 on TikTok as well. So if you want to follow us on all of those, you can do that. There's a Facebook group. And then if you want even more content, you can check out some of the other shows. So you can check out the CTM Universal show where we talk about Universal Studios. Now it's twice a month. And we'll have a new show next week because fingers crossed we can go check out the new Minion Blast attraction at Universal.
Yeah, that's the plan. Actually, tomorrow morning.
It's in soft opening. We'll see if we can do that.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can check that out. See what that's like. Yep. And then Jamie has Trip Tales. And when's the next one? You had one coming on Monday.
Yeah, I had the first one in 2 months come out on Monday, and then I'll have another one actually on the 31st, I think, in July. So I've been kind of like I guess back-ending all these episodes. So I've got like 4 coming out within like next to each other. So yeah.
All right.
Just a lot going on.
You can check it out on this feed as well. And of course on YouTube, if you're there watch video versions of the podcast, we have the new CTM podcast YouTube channel. So it's YouTube at CTM podcast. And then we also have vlogs. We have a new vlog coming out. Actually today when you hear this, we're going to go all through and show you Wyndham. Which Wyndham was it again? Lake Buena Vista.
Yeah, Wyndham Garden, Lake Buena Vista.
Yeah. So you can check out the vlogs at Cap the Magic. So we have 2 YouTube channels, one for the show, one for vlogs and all that stuff. So check out both of them. Subscribe to both. That'd be great if you did that. So, but all right, well, that'll be it for the show. So thank you everybody for listening and or watching. And thank you, Jamie and Kendra, for joining.
Thank you.
And as Jamie always likes to say,
we will see you in the parks.
Bye.